Hey guys, Amber here. I wanted to start a video for you guys about my process of conditioning and pairing some bettas, the Betta Splendens, the kind of normal fancy ones that you generally see. I decided to go ahead and try to do this with you guys since I have a little bit of time and I'm a little bit more confident in being able to do this now that I don't have the shop to go to and to work with. So I'm going to show you kind of my process start to finish. I'll do it in a series of videos just so you guys can go through it with me. It may or may not be successful. This is a young pair. This will be their first spawn, so we will see how it goes. So I'll show you what I do, and if anybody has any suggestions or anything like that, any comments, please feel free to leave them. I'll be more than happy to listen and see if we can adjust some things. But this is how I've done it quite a few times now and been very successful with doing it, so this is just kind of how I stick with doing it. Alright, so first off I have these containers here. These are just plastic Tupperware containers from Dollar Tree. They're just under a gallon. I don't fill them up all the way, especially for conditioning. I generally use these little pieces of pool noodle and I just cut them. Sorry about that, that was my dog. I just cut them into this little shape and I'll generally put that in there with the male. That allows him to attach a bubble nest to it, and they really like using these, so I just kind of go with it. In the past I have also taken like these little portion cups, cut them in half and just kind of taped it to the side, kind of like this, and they will use those as well, and I had good success with those too. I also have just a little piece of terracotta pot that I just broke a few times to get the shape. I will also put that in there with the male, just to give the female somewhere to escape if she needs to, once that time comes. These are cycled tubs, so these have been in use. I just did a big water change on them. So there's still that bacteria, good bacteria and such on the side, so it doesn't shock the fish. This water has been sitting here for 24 hours now. It is aged and the same temperature as the water that my bettas are from. I'm just going to set them up in brand new ones because it's kind of water change time anyways, so that should be fine. And I have my candidates here. Typically I have the sides of these painted, and it's just acrylic paint. It comes off, so I can just wipe it off and reapply if I need to. But I typically have these painted so they can't see each other when they're next to each other. But for spawning purpose, obviously, we want them to see each other. I will put a divider here for the most part during the cycling process and just give them short windows to look at each other and flare at each other and see how they react to each other. So I'm going to grab them out of these containers and put them into the new ones. If I can catch them. There we go. So here is the female. Probably won't look the greatest because these are kind of opaque, so you can't see them super well. But there she is. She has a lot of red and blue, a little bit of purple on her. She's got a really nice spread, so she should do well. She's a good size. This is actually one that I produced. She has laid eggs before without a male, so I'm sure she's plenty ready. And let me grab my male. He's also one that I produced myself, and he's super pretty. He had a little damage to his dorsal fin when he was younger, but it's healed. It's not the prettiest, but it wasn't a genetic thing. It was something that happened to him when he was still with the group, so I'm letting it go, and I'm going to breed him anyways. He is really pretty too. He has a lot of blues, reds, so they should be a good pairing. He also has kind of some dragon scaling going on. She does too when she's nice and fired. But so I'll put them together, next to each other I should say, not really together. and kind of watch what they do. During this time, they'll be fed really well, daily water changes. Once I'm ready to spawn, I'll drop the water level some and put them together and see how they do, see how they react to each other. I'll watch them for a good 20 minutes or so to make sure there's no fighting, anything too violent, and then I'll just kind of let them be. I do normally move them to a larger spawning tank. It's just a bigger critter keeper, just to give them some more room to get away from each other. It also makes it a lot easier for me to get the male out of the aquarium once the eggs are ready to go, and get the female out once the eggs are laid. So this is the first step, guys. Again, I will be feeding them really heavy with frozen foods and live food. I hatch live baby brine every day anyways, so they'll get lots of that. Again, daily water changes to kind of simulate that season for them. And this should be cool. I hope you guys will stick it out with the videos. I hope the spawn is successful and that you get some information out of this. Since you heard my dog, there he is. That's Lurch. Hi, Pop. He's my fish room helper. He's not very helpful, really. He just goes and hits stuff with his butt and gets in the way and eats fish food I drop. So I guess helpful in that sense. Anyways, I will make another video in a few days just to kind of update you guys, show you what I'm doing. This is typically about a 2-week conditioning process, and we will get through this together, hopefully. It's been a while since I've spawned these, probably 5 or so months, so this should be fun for me too. I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.